All right, on to Tuesday. So Tuesday was pretty skibbity, if you ask me. So pretty much mark off the highs. Uh, I did not even realize that we had weekly that Tuesday, which is the reason why I got kind of cooked. But we pretty much had a weekly, and then this one, right? I think we had a PSP somewhere here. Nah, no PSP. But we had weekly and going lower, as you can see, because um, Dow went up and swept it. And then if you go on the 15-minute chart, we also had, pretty sure we had daily. Fuck, I'm so tired of looking at these damn charts. Alright, well, now we had daily. So that pretty much activated the daily for us. Um, and then we're pretty much super bearish. So we expanded. Best entry was 939 because we had a very rapid expansion. We're in freaking 930 just decides to stay chill, and I guess if you enter there, you're fine. But I'm not entering that early. Then we had pullback. All right, so there's 945. So we just sat in this gap in this range right here, and then ES was up here, and kind of expected a micro. There's the micro. Micro. I think this was a PSP. No, it wasn't. But micro. This is like a clean ass entry. It looks like. And then from here on out, we chop. Eventually, we're done with this chop by taking out these equal highs along with hitting a 15-minute 930 on the 15-minute, and this breaker super clean the way it touched it actually, even though all this is chopped. And then we run lower, retesting the gap, best entry of the day. And we had a one random pullback, doesn't matter because our stop should have been at the high. And then we liquidate all the way down to the gutter. Chop, chop, chop. More chop, chop, chop. And then lunch reversal all the way down. So, the big takeaway of this day was the setup. So, where can we possibly enter the setup? So, in our case here, um, we're bearish. So, for ES, like, once we had that micro, I didn't really look at it for too much. I pretty much looked at mainly NQ, and I saw these gaps. Now, I'm gonna pretty much draw the setup as it was. Like, so this is our new swing high that we shouldn't have hit, and we pretty much sat in this range, right? Pretty much the discount. So if what I my initial trade was a buy right here, the stop loss here to target these highs because I knew these highs would get hit because it's 75%. And we were just shopping. So I was gonna go for a 1 to 2, but then I left that one break even. And then after that, let me just go ahead and look. I'll show you guys what I did. That was what, the 23rd. All right, so we first had that break even one right there, and then after that I went in for a short right there because I was like, all right, we're just gonna expand out because it's pretty clean the way we hit the gap. We had 10 a.m. We didn't have 10 a.m. news. I was like, all right, we're gonna go. But then in reality, we kept shopping. So then I was like, all right, are we bullish? And you see, I just ended it there. Would have been a break even on the day, and that's it. I was actually up like $5 or something like that. Nah, like we're like 20 or something. And so, but anyway, went up, hit there, and then turned around. So the big takeaway of this day, especially for me personally, is wait for that 75. And like for example here, the idea of the reversal was pretty poor. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really draw out the premium discount, and that caused a lot of like flutter in my head. Now, yes, it's super choppy. Yes, it's a very difficult day, but still, like, it's manageable if you're locked. So, so pretty much here's the dilemma. This high, bam. Yes, went back to 75. While this one took these highs. This was safe, and then yeah, and then went into this gap along with 15-minute, and then this high was created as intermediate term high, and it was at 10:42. So honestly, very late expansion on the day, very late, 10:42, and then here's that gap, first gap after, right? So if you entered there, I mean, I don't think you would have left here, but if your entry is here in such a choppy day, your stop would be at the high, especially because this is 78 ticks, dude. 78 ticks is nothing. So this was pretty much the entry, and then you would have to target the lows because when you see like if you saw that chop, you see that the highs are all not like all the highs are lower highs. So when you see that, at least me personally, I don't leave until it hits a draw. So realistically, I would have held it down there. That would have been a pretty solid dub, but it happens. Um, the entry that I had wasn't the buy was not bad. I just didn't hold it because right here we made micro to go higher, as you see, and like I left literally on this down close candle because I was like, all right, whatever. No, I didn't leave on the down close. I left break even because I was like, all right, ES is literally closed. They're gonna close down here, and it disrespect the new day opening gap. So I was like, are we bearish already? Like, no way. But looking back at it, I mean, since 9 o'clock expanded so hard, makes sense why we had a PM expansion, like the second expansion. But low probability day, it is what it is. Um, but next time, definitely waiting for that full 75%, especially if we have a 9:30 expansion. Because if 9:30 expands, then usually 10 o'clock is chop, and then later, PM session doesn't sweep the high of 10 and continues lower. So that was the case for that Tuesday. So that's it for there. Bada bing, bada boom.